Hi everyone. I wanted to do another makeup tutorial for you. Today we're going to be doing a kind of a soft smoky eye. Smoky eyes are really great for people who have hooded eyes just because it helps to make the eye look more, I guess, to the shape that you want it. I'll kind of go into more explanation, but essentially it can actually make your eyes look bigger. And make your lid space look bigger too. So what I've done is I've already prepped my skin. My skin is clean, and I put some of my facial moisturizer on that I showed you guys in the last video. It's Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. And then I also used Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment, which is an eye cream. And I love that the consistency of it, because once you put it on, it doesn't move, and most moisturizers, they move on the skin, but the formula that they used for this, it doesn't move, so it's great for putting underneath makeup and things like that. And a little tiny bit goes a long way because it's a pretty thick consistency. I've also curled my lashes. If you watched my last video, I did the spoon trick and also used my eyelash curler, so you can use whatever method that works for you. And yeah, so I have a clean palette here, or clean canvas, I should say. And I'm also going to prep my skin with a primer. So this is Becca Velvet Blurring Primer Perfecting Base. And this is an Apricot Haze. So depending on your skin, if you use a primer, this is just like an added thing. As long as your skin is moisturized, that's all you really, I suggest or consider to be necessary. But if you want to also do a primer, that's obviously a great step too. You just want to make sure it's shaken really well. And then just gonna pump some, and this formula is a little liquidy, but you can see here it's like an apricot color. And I'm just going to apply this. Again, anytime I put product on the top of my hand, I just move it on my lower jaw just to, or spread it along my lower jaw just so I don't waste product. Okay, so what a primer is going to do is it's going to help the texture of your skin. Again, if you're in a quick hurry, it's not necessary, but at the very least, moisturize your skin. Okay. So we got that done. I've also prepped my lids already with the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. So we looked at that in the last video too. Okay. So all of that is already prepped. I have a good canvas. I'm ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do today to do this tutorial, I'm actually going to use the Naked 3 palette by Urban Decay. It's a great little palette. These Naked palettes have been really popular just because they have different tones. This one, you can see I use it a lot. You can see which colors I use a lot too. But these palettes, no matter what number you get, they're all very popular. This one has warmer tones, some golden tones, and some cooler ones too, but this is definitely more along like the gold warm range tones. So, they come in a variety of different palettes. Each palette has its own unique color scheme. I love this one, especially if you have brown eyes. Let me see here. So let's start with the Deluxe Sable Shader. I believe this is a crown brush as well. So what I'm gonna do is, whenever you're doing a smoky eye, essentially we want the darkest shade closest to the lash line, and then it's gonna graduate up into a lighter shade as we go higher. So you wanna start with your darker shades and graduate up to the lighter ones. So let me see here. We are gonna, since we're doing a soft smoky eye, I don't wanna go too dark. So I'm gonna start with this color here. It's called Factory. It's like a shimmery medium brown. So we're just gonna load that onto the brush there, and we're just gonna gently go in and just pat this along the lid here. And don't worry about this being too perfect. You just wanna make sure it looks even across the lid, and then repeat on the other side. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is take a blender brush. This one doesn't have a name on it, but you can see it's fluffy, gives way, and this one is also a fluffy one. This is the Japanesque fluffy shader. It's a 724. Got this at Ulta. I love this for shading though. A helpful trick when you're blending, if you hold your brush towards the tip, it's gonna be a much softer application versus if you're holding it up close, you're putting more pressure naturally. So hand placement is important. So if you hold it towards the tip, you're gonna get a much softer application. So what I wanna do is, because I just patted that color on, I wanna make sure to blend it. So I'm just gonna take this brush and go ahead and go in and just do light, soft circles. And you don't really have to go down towards the lash line. You're just really wanting to blend the crease line here. Okay, same thing for the other side. Okay, and don't worry, especially with this look, you're gonna have a lot of fallout. So like I said in my last video, if you do your eyes first, we have a chance to clean up under the eye and then do foundation. So definitely don't clean until the very end, because you're definitely gonna get some more fallout, especially doing a smoky eye, because we're blending a lot. Okay, so now that we have our medium tone over the whole lid space, now I'm going to go in with a slightly darker color, and I'm going to use my, this is the Smashbox flat liner brush that I used in my last tutorial. It's really great, and you can see I don't clean my brushes every day. I probably wash my brushes like once a week, and I think in the next tutorial I'm actually going to show you guys how I wash my brushes. But going in with a flat eyeliner brush, I'm going to use, this palette doesn't have one, so I'm actually going to go back to that Smashbox Shape Matters palette. This is actually discontinued, I think, which is unfortunate because it's a beautiful palette. But I'm basically going to get a matte black eyeshadow. So many palettes or many brands sell these, sell a matte black eyeshadow. So they're pretty easy to find. So don't worry too much about the brand. Just get something that's within your price point and try to just get close to the color. So with the black, what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply it at the lash line. And you're just gonna gently tap and then move side to side. Okay, so you can see they're starting to build up a little bit. Now I'm okay with bringing that up a little bit. You can see I've made kind of a thicker line there. I'm gonna repeat on the other side. And don't worry about it being too dark for now. You still want to control how much you're applying. Don't be afraid to be a little liberal with the color application, but obviously keep it controlled so that you're not getting black everywhere. So what we're going to do once you apply that to the lash line like that, we're going to blend that out. So I'm taking another blender brush. This one is not marked, but you can see here it's sort of a round, fluffy brush, soft bristles. So that's what you want to go for. Now we're going to be blending out that lash line, okay? So go in and just very softly go side to side with this. Little tiny circles, and then check your work. So you can see it's starting to blend out there. Okay, same thing with this side. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going back to my Naked 3 palette, and I am going to go for something lighter than this shade that we used initially. So just taking a look at the palette, and I kind of want a matte shade. So this one called Nooner, you gotta love how like cosmetic brands have all these crazy names. But anyway, so I'm gonna use this matte kind of medium taupey shade, and we're gonna go into the crease with that. So you can see here, it looks like I have black eyes, okay? Don't be afraid of that. It's just fallout, and we're gonna clean that up. So just packing some of that color on. I'm going to go in and add to the crease. Again, small circles, holding it towards the end of the brush. Okay. Same thing on the other side. And again, remember, you want to go up, especially if you have hooded eyes. My natural crease, you can see there, it's pretty small, right? So I have a lot of space between my brow and eye, but not much space between my lash line and my crease. So I'm taking this crease color up above my crease, you can see there. And if I feel right here, that's where my orbital bone is. So I can tell I want to come right up to that. Okay. Same thing for over here. Small circles, side to side. Okay, and check your work, okay? Again, with a smoky eye, don't worry, it looks crazy right now, I know. Okay, so I like the way the top of that is looking. So kind of to give yourself a better idea, if you do want to go ahead and clean up some of the fallout at this point, you can. And that way you kind of see, because with all the fallout, it kind of looks a little crazy. And at this point, if you want to check your work, just go ahead with Q-tip and makeup remover. Now over here, the shadow's coming under here. I'm just bringing this up in a straight line, following where my natural, like if we were to keep extending our lower lash line and just go straight up, that's where you want to clean it up too. I don't know if you can see here, it kind of creates that straight line. We're gonna buff that out later. Okay, so you can kind of see here, now that I've cleaned it up, it's a little easier to see. The top I actually want to buff out a little bit more. So I'm gonna take this fluffy brush again, Japanesque, and you can, if you have like a paper towel, you can just, let me grab this here, I have a tissue. Make sure that it's not, that you don't have a bunch of color, okay? Go ahead and go in little circles like that on a tissue. So that way you have a clean brush. And you're just gonna go in and very light, you wanna feather right around where that brow bone is, because we don't want a harsh line there. And mine was pretty blended out, but just looking at it, I feel like I wanna blend it out a little bit more. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that looks good. Okay. Now what I wanna do next, yesterday I did a smoky liner. Today I want to use the gel liner. Gel liner is a little bit less forgiving. This is a crown brush angled definer. If you have an angled brush, but you can see how thin that is, that's what you want when you're applying gel liner. If you use something thick, let's say like this flat brush, if you look at the end, you see how it's wider. So if I hold them up side by side, you see the difference? It's a huge difference. This is going to apply a much thicker line. This is going to be a much thinner line. So I'm using Bobbi Brown Longwear Gel Eyeliner in black ink. And you can see here, it's just a little pot. It's gel. It's like a hard pot, so that it's not like liquid or anything, or like super soft. So what I do is I take my brush, especially if I've used it and it's not, you know, if I haven't washed it and it's has some product on it still, I want to loosen up those bristles. So right on the edge of it, I'm just sweeping my brush against it. And what that does is just loosen up the bristles. The way my eyes are shaped, I have to be really cognizant of where the liner is going. So if I open my eye, I can just sweep a little bit. I'm not going in my eye, but I'm just very carefully applying a little bit more there. Okay, so now I'm going to go along the bottom, and to do this I'm going back to my flat brush here, and I'm going to dip it back in this factory color, which is that shimmery brown, and I'm going to go right along the bottom here, right below where your bottom lash line is. Okay, now whenever I put liner on the bottom, I don't go all the way to the corner because that's going to close off your eye. I go about 2/3 of the way, so it just tapers off naturally. And I love doing liner with shadow because it gives a very soft look versus having a harsh line, which can look unattractive, you know, on certain eye types. So this is really flattering for all eye types, really. And with your gel liner, be sure to close it back up because they can dry out. So, all right, so we have that there. And I like the way this is looking. I'm just gonna clean up the bottom one more time. Since we added some more shadow, there's gonna be more fallout. And again, with fallout, you might not see it right away, but as soon as you smear some foundation over it, it takes it and turns it super dark. So you really want to be sure your skin is clean from any fallout. And sometimes here, from sweeping back and forth, I get a little in this corner. Okay. And be sure to dry it. Okay. All right, so that looks good. Okay. Just making sure the corners look good in the mirror there. Okay, awesome. So next I'm going to do my foundation. Again, I'm using NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in Salzburg. Love this stuff. It has such great coverage without being too cakey on the skin. Again, adding the Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops in sunlight. Again, being very controlled. I just want a little tiny drop. Perfect. And then again, we're gonna go in with the serum, and I think today I'm gonna use my Kiehl's Midnight Recovery Concentrate, which is a serum. I do use this at night, but sometimes adding a little bit of serum to your foundation is so nice. It just helps go on so much smoother. So I'm gonna just wet my beauty brush, or my beauty blender. Okay, and then with my finger, I'm just gonna go in and blend. I'm just dabbing and kind of moving the product around on itself without spreading it out too much. So about there, and then I'm just gonna start dotting it on my face. And then again, with the excess on my hand, I'm just gonna apply that to my under my jawline and a little bit on my neck here. And this just helps to not waste product and also to make sure your makeup is blending all the way down. So now with your beauty blender that you've already gotten wet and then squeezed out the excess, you're just gonna go in and start blotting it. And you can go a little slower when you're near your eye, because okay. So we're done with our foundation. Now I'm gonna go in and with my MAC Studio Fix in shade C3.5 and my Max Coverage Concealer Brush by Bare Essentials. Just sweeping that on and going up right underneath. And what I did there is I'm sweeping it here, and then what I do is one sweep I go up and around just to kind of clean up any areas. Same thing on this side. Okay, and then I'm taking my big fluffy brush, swirling it in here, and very lightly just sweeping it right over your skin. Okay. So that's looking great. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and do blush. I got my NARS. It's called Orgasm. Again, these funny names. But, you know, it's obviously made to look like you have this natural flush look, so I guess it goes hand in hand with the name. Okay, so what I did there is just cheeks, a little on the nose, a little on the forehead. It just kind of gives you a sun-kissed look because, you know, that way you're pink kind of everywhere here. And then flat brush going into the bronzer and just going right up under my cheeks. I can see where it goes. If you need help seeing that, go like that, and then you can see where it is. And then a little on my hairline, and then a little on the sides of my nose here. And then if you want, especially if you feel like your jaw is not defined, you can go ahead and add just a little bit very lightly along your jawline, and that helps to just create this shadow, so it makes your jawline look sharper. You just want to make sure it's blended out so you don't see where it's actually at. Okay, so we are good with that. I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara. I'm using Maybelline Lash Discovery Mini Brush Waterproof. Love this stuff. I was talking about this in my last video. I love drugstore mascaras because I find that the designer ones don't allow my lashes to stay curled. My lashes are stick straight normally. And what I'm doing is I'm lifting right at the root, going side to side, and then pulling up. And then you might have to maneuver your hand like this and come in from the other direction to get that inner corner. Or with this mini brush, you can turn it up on the tip and use it to get those little baby lashes. And then at the bottom too. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little bit of highlight. Again, I'm using the Crown Highlight Palette. And I'm using this middle shade here that's golden, very light golden. And I'm just going right above the cheek area and a little on my nose. Some people highlight more. You can do like a little here above your lip if you want. And you can do a little on your chin. And then you can do a little up under the brow here and just make sure to blend it out. Some people do this with a brush. I'm just using my finger. And then with your pinky, if you want to do the inner corners, you can go in and add a little highlight there. So it just kind of adds a little bit more glowiness. Okay, now last but not least, I'm just going to go in and sweep some brow gel through my brows. And this is the Tinted Brow Gel by Anastasia in the color Granite. Okay, there we go. So we are all done. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help and hope you enjoyed this look. Some of the colors I use, like with yesterday, it was similar colors, so it might look similar, but this is a little bit more smoky. So this is a little bit more makeup than I do for like my daily routine, but you know, I kind of switch it up depending on how I'm feeling that day. So, and you can too. Some days I want to go super glam, and then other days, you know, I'm like, basic makeup or no makeup. You can always apply false lashes, and that's always beautiful too. That takes, I'll probably do another tutorial on that to kind of show you how to apply false lashes if you want to. So it takes a little practice to do yourself. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well in this quarantine. Hope everyone's staying healthy, and my prayers are with those who are not, who are either, at risk or ill or whatever the case is. I know so many people are going through a lot of different things right now. So I hope you guys are well though, and thank you so much for your love and support, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.